When was the last time you relaxed in a comfortable chair to read a good coin from cover to cover? Unfortunately, digital currency today is diminishing our daily need to cuddle with physical cash. For the first time in 26 centuries, a generation is being born that may never handle hard currency, never read the words stamped on circulating coins, never feel the tactile monetary link between the digital present and the distant past. At the same time, some coin classics are going out of print. The U.S. cent is being discontinued, with the remaining denominations sure to follow, beginning, of course, with the nickel. Many consumers couldn't be happier, but for a numismatist, it is a shame to see good coins go. The letters and numbers stamped onto a coin are called its legend, Latin for things to be read. We're not talking War and Peace or the Encyclopedia Britannica, but there is more to read on coins than you might imagine. On this U.S. quarter, one side alone displays 11 words and 3 abbreviations, requiring 58 letters. The reverse uses 65 letters and numbers, for a total of 123 letters and numbers on one multilingual mobile disk of information technology. It is a history book that fits into the palm of your hand. In fact, you can easily carry around lots of these volumes as your own personal portable library. The only ancient coin that comes close to the modern quarter is perhaps this sestertius from late in the reign of the Roman Emperor Trajan. It uses 96 letters to abbreviate the latest chapter in Trajan's biography. It reads, Supreme Commander Caesar Nerva Trajan, the best Augustus, conqueror of Germany, Dacia, and Parthia, chief priest, holder of the tribunician power, consul for the 6th time, father of his country, and having reduced Armenia and Mesopotamia under the power of the Roman people, this coin has been issued by authority of the Roman Senate. Now that's a lot. Not only does the reader have to figure out the abbreviations, such as IMP for Imperator, meaning Supreme Commander, but also how to separate the string of letters themselves into meaningful words and abbreviations. Reading coins like this one was like solving a puzzle, too. The reading material available on coins has not always been as challenging as the modern quarter or the Roman sestertius. Numismatic literacy developed slowly over centuries, in much the same way that you and I learned to read step by step. Perhaps you began with oddly shaped, even dumpy little booklets like these, with few words and lots of pictures. And that's how coins started too. Small, irregularly shaped lumps of metal stamped with pictures and barely any text at all. Early coinages were heavy on animals and bore images on one side only, simple enough for the least literate among its users. Words and abbreviations accumulated slowly at a rate of only a few letters with each passing generation. The citizens of Athens identified themselves with just the 3-letter abbreviation alpha, theta, epsilon. The Corinthians used a single archaic letter, the kappa. The Thebans were satisfied with only a theta and epsilon. Gradually, some Greek cities splurged by putting their entire name on the coin, such as Amphipolis, Naxos, and Thurii. But things really began to change with the rise of Hellenistic monarchs, whose egos put more and more text in front of the coin-reading public, as when the title king, Basileus, was added to coins of Alexander of Macedonia. Soon enough, kings and queens went wild with words. These rulers relished their new honorific titles. Viewers of this channel know that King Eucratides of Bactria, for example, added the word megalu, the great, to his coins. Other Hellenistic monarchs incorporated epithets such as the Savior, the God manifest on earth, the good deed doer, the well-fathered, and the great Greek lover, and so on. The vocabulary on coins became more and more varied and complex with each new generation of readers. Following the early days of reading coins with just an abbreviation or one word, the public now might face complex grammatical sentences that carried over from one side to the other, cover to cover, so to speak. Here we are to understand the message to read, "A coin of Demetrius the Unconquered, minted during the reign of Agathocles the Just." Here we read a Greek text on one side that has been translated into an Indian language on the other. The added challenge is that the Greek is read left to right, but the Korosti script from right to left. Perhaps the Lord of the Rings of Hellenistic money was authored by the Parthians, who crammed on one side of a single coin such flowing phrases as "the great King of Kings Arsaces the Just, the God, the manifest deity, well-fathered and Greek-loving." This was all written out word for word, not with abbreviations, as we saw on the Roman imperial example earlier. Significantly, coinages all across the classical world demonstrate the same progression toward more and more text, and this parallels closely the political evolution toward autocratic power. In each case, we begin with near wordlessness and end up with extreme wordiness. Kings and emperors gave their subjects a lot more to read, especially about the kings and emperors themselves. But there's more here than just a history of autocracy and ego written out on coins. For those reading the coins surely influenced the framing of the message as well. For example, in the languages used or the titles deemed acceptable. Some scholars today might express this in terms of framing theory, the study of how words and images are selected and presented for a desired effect. In Greece and in Rome, the spaces on coins once dominated by images yielded more and more to words. And as this transpired, the text began literally to frame the images, as you can see here. Framing represents another interesting aspect of cognitive numismatics, a way of understanding coins that you may wish to explore in other videos on this channel. On these coins, for instance, the earlier image of a seated archer on the left has shriveled on the right so that it can be enveloped by the expanded legend. The words now surround the dynastic emblem in such a way that it requires you to read the coin from multiple angles. This framing privileges the Greek wording, forcing us to invest more time on it than on the reduced figure. The earlier picture book coin has given way to a treatise on Hellenistic royalty. So the next time you settle down to read a good coin, savor that moment. Someone went to a lot of trouble to choose just the right words and to arrange them in a way that enhances your reading experience. The text may be an old classic, or maybe, while you still can, your government's latest page turner, but be assured that it's all worth reading from cover to cover, front to back, side to side, and top to bottom. I'm Dr. Frank L. Holt, hoping that you feel inclined to like, subscribe, and then share this channel with others interested in our ancient world. Well, I've got some coin reading to do, so I'll catch you here next time.